Hello and welcome to this video on how to plot using Hello and welcome to this video on how to plot graphs using Excel. The first chart we're going to do is using two sets of numerical data. In order to insert a graph, you first have to highlight your data. So I'm going to highlight this, I'm going to select this, then I'm going to press and hold down the command button so I can select my other data here. Then I'm going to press insert. I want a scatter graph, and there it is. Now if I want to change my chart type, I can easily do so here. If I want to select different data, say the X and Y have gotten the wrong way around, I can do so here. So my X values are there, my Y values are there. Okay, cancel. All right, I'm going to get rid of the chart title because I'm going to have a caption in the document instead. So I'm missing stuff on here. I need to add in axes, titles, line graphs, and things like that. So I'm going to show you how to do all that. So you select your graph and you go to add chart element and you go to your axes title. Primary horizontal, that was our time and days. And I can do the same then for the axis title for my y-axis. Now, in order to add a line, for example, I can go to add chart element and go to trend line. I can do it that way, or I can go to select the series there. I can right click on that and then go to format data series. So there's two different ways you can get there. So say, for example, I want to change my markers. I don't want circles, instead I want, I want to have X's. So I can do that. I can change the color. I can change the size. I can do all that. I can also then go to a line. I can add in a line if I want to, a solid line like that, and I can change all aspects of that line there. I'm not going to put in a line. What I can also do is instead I can add in a trend line. So let's have a look. We go again to add chart element. You go to drop down trend line and you go to more options. So let's see all the different options. So the potentials, it depends on your set of data, but in this case we can have a linear polynomial, or this one, logarithmic, linear. Let's say we want to put in a linear equation. So there's our equation for that, y equals mx plus c. When do you want to do this? Well, you would do this if you wanted to extrapolate data from your graph. So for example, if I wanted to find out what the germination rate would be at 1.5 days, I can put 1.5 in place of x and calculate y. So that's quite handy to have. If I want to change elements of that line, I can again go to my little paint button here, and then I can then go to dash type and have a solid line instead. Oh no, that's selecting the box. Hold on, I need to select my line. There we go. So dash type, solid line, and I can again change that to black, make it a bit thinner. Okay. Now, if I want to change, for example, the range of the time or on the y-axis as well, I can easily just select my axis, go to the little graph thing to our axis options, and I can, instead of saying that goes up to 5, I can say, no, I only want you to go up to, sorry, it was up to 6 now, I want you to go up to 5. I can also add in things like tick marks, for example, inside, outside. It's up to you, so you can see. If I want to add more ticks, for example, I can also do that. Tick options, major is going to be, say I wanted every 0.1, and it gives me that as well. Okay. Now, final thing, if I want to add another set of data to this graph, I can also do so. I can go to my select data again, and this time I'm going to call this first set of data with species A, and then I'm going to add a second set of data, species C. I can again select my data here, and my y values are here. just press OK. And there I have my, my second set of data on there. So here is one I made earlier. To finalize it, I'm just going to add the key to it because we have two lines, but we don't know what they represent. So we're going to again select our chart design, add chart element, and we're going to go down to the legend. We can put it in various different places, but I'm going to put mine at the bottom there. If you want to format that legend, you can right click on it and you can do things like fill it, change the line, put a box around it as you want there, and you can also move this around from this position here. The really great thing about Excel and how it can save you so much time is that you can just copy and paste this chart. So say, for example, I Command C, make a copy and paste it. Because I have it looking the way I want to have it looking, I don't need to go through that entire process again. So say I want to do a second graph for other different species or something. I've just saved myself a whole lot of time in remaking a graph. Instead, I've just copied and pasted. And again, I just go to my chart design and I can select the data that I want for that particular graph.